I wanted to share with you what I commonly see among my clients. Despite that success, the relationship are not great. Meaning, on the facade, they're loving family, wonderful, beautiful wife that seemingly loves him. They're a perfect union. But yet, there is this dependency. The dependency that he feels that is sort of undercurrent, that is spoiling that idyllic setting, that is misrepresenting that the reality that I should be happy. I am so greatly loved. I'm just trying to paint the picture of underneath current that might be happening, that might bring or might be unconscious reason for that dissatisfaction, that a little bit of a yearning for something else, that sense of unsteadiness in the relationship. In fact, if he were to pause and spend time reflecting, he probably would notice that his body is really fatigued from that dependency, that worry. What if something happens to her? What if she stops loving me? He was not insecure or as a jealous, but it was that fear of losing her love, focusing on fulfilling whatever it is making his wife, in this case, happy. He never actually discovered what love is for him. How does it feel like? What it is he needs. All he's left with is this fatigue of chasing and never having it enough. An acceptance of relationship as is became such a norm. And I see that all the time. Guys, you settle. Like you truly settle because of that fear, that even slight possibility to let's discover what it is you need in a relationship, what love looks for you. That minor possibility puts otherwise really strong masculine energy guys in a complete state of fear because it requires change. And change implies that something gonna change in a relationship and therefore compromises that love that he receives. What I have described cannot be picked up by him, loved ones, or people that he knows. As I said, on the surface, it's unnoticeable. He is the success story. He is someone to admire and to imitate. But the reason I wanted to bring it up, that I see it so often, the pattern that I see is usually stems that those guys were unloved or were missing love as children. You see, as children, we are naturally seeking to receive love from our caretakers, our parents, our siblings, not being aware that love just is within us. There's no external source for it. We are love in essence. And even as adults, it's really hard to comprehend that concept. But what I see is among those successful, brilliant guys, truly, that thirst for more and more and more, it just does not stop. And sure, it's bravado. There is an accomplishment and success comes from it, from yet another Everest, if you will, in the achievement. But it does not satisfy the thirst. You see, when that void of love is experienced as a child, you're pained. You have an absolute physically painful experience. It's even though it's more conscious, it's more energetic, but it is a void, painful void that you're looking to fill. And in fact, the more traumatic or the more deprived, love deprived experience that you had is early on, or maybe a loving parent passed away or something like this, but it was like shattering that ecosystem of love and self acceptance as a result. That when you went on your quest to look for your partner, you unconsciously we're looking for someone who will serve as a plug to that void. And that's how you meet your partner, your wife, girlfriend. You're not conscious of it. You're not looking to her as salvation, but that's what your body is doing. When we have that traumatic experience, it's super hard to step in the sense of wholeness, of seeing ourselves as whole and complete, to be in that space of self love and acceptance of as is, how we are, unbroken, complete, and beautiful. But it is that state of awareness that allows you to then step in the observer role and observe what role did you assign to your partner? What are they solving for you? What it is you're trading? What is it that is so precious and valuable to you that you will go to the end of the earth to make sure that it's never missing and you always have it? You're looking for that person to fill that void. It doesn't mean that you're not attracted to her, you don't find her fascinating and you're drawn to her. All those things can be true. But that inner dependency, that undercurrent that is driving you nuts, that you don't feel free, despite the fact that you seem to be in love, but it is a dependent love. When there is this disconnect, on one hand you love her, on the other hand it's like there is this fatigue. Stepping in observer mood and understanding what it is that person is filling in, what role you assigned. It's usually she will not be aware what role you assigned to her. It wasn't her volunteer duty, or she hasn't volunteered for it. You mentally assigned. And you see, this is where it happens. She loves you. You enjoy that feeling. It plugs, if you will, that void and that hole. And instead of this healing and immersive experience where you are now feeling complete, instead, you know your sheer survival for that completeness, the feeling of completeness is dependent on that person. You will please her in order to receive that. If you had children, you've probably struggled a little bit with that sense that all of her attention and love went to your children, even though you shouldn't be feeling this way because they're your children, right? We're not supposed to feel this way, kind of mini jealousy that the sunshine rays of love kind of were shifted from you. Yes, there are little permutations about different aspects and there are nuances, but the underneath the story is the same. And to me, I see it clear. And the way I see it clearly is because I read you guys. In the session, I see your soul. I hear what the soul is craving and what the gaps are and what you're trying to solve. So, where do we go from here? As with any healing, the first step is awareness. It's recognizing that story of yours. The awareness of how do you see your partner? What role did you assign to her to play in your blueprint? I would look in that case to the energy healing session. I honestly do not know any other modalities where you can sit down and in 2, maximum 3 hours, you can step into that mode of observer and seeing for the first time in your life, you probably be aware. But it is really hard to step into that full self love, acceptance, the sense of you being a complete and beautiful human being. And from that sense of acceptance, to view yourself and your life from non judgmental but loving perspective, just to view your life and layout of the land. And from there, to map your way forward. That's super hard to do. And in a nutshell, I feel energy healing allows you to do that because I've reached your blueprint of where the void is, and I am getting intuitive reading or clues from your higher self, or where to lead you, where to point your attention. How do we shift that balance? My second solution to say, if what you hear is kind of relatable, maybe there is something there, but you seem to be okay. Nothing is shattering your world just yet. That's where I would start with just consistent practices of accepting self. Self love consists of two things. One is, and please don't roll your eyes, get the book of love language. And what I want you to do with that book, get the book, love language book, and I'll put the link in the description. I want you to open the last page of the assessment, do the assessment to understand what love language is for you, like how you perceive love, how do you read love. And if it's touch, I want you to spend the time with you on what touch means for you. Is it physical touch? Is it a hug? If it's quality time together, it's such a wild west of definition. What is the quality time for you? Your assignment is to feed yourself love infusing activities every single day. And I mean it, every single day. And I know you will say that, let's say you're a touch guy, that a massage at masseuse will never equate to a hot, wild sex with your wife because that's what you're craving. But first of all, when was the last time you had one? Right? Because in order to have the wild, fantastic sex, your vessel, your love bucket has to be full. Then it's flourishing. And if you're running on empty, I can assure whatever it is you're having is probably minuscule to compare to what it could be. So my advice, yes, massage or masseuse does not replace it. But once you understand that you can arrive to your destination via different transportation services, you will not be in the despair when your main vehicle is broken or goes off to repair retreat, right? So, first of all, as a self-care solution, every single day, I don't care if it's 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but I want you to do an activity that fulfills your love bucket for you. Second, I want you to learn to have fun with yourself. And I know it sounds funny, but what it means is throughout that journey of, at this point, being not, I would say, let's say it for what it is, desperate for feeling loved, you've been focused on so much of your energy on fulfilling whoever it from whom you're receiving love, to fulfilling their needs so much that you probably don't know whether you like hanging out with yourself, or the fact to be by yourself is a very terrifying proposition. So my suggestion is to start on the journey of self-acceptance, which means it's going on a date with yourself, being absolutely comfortable to being with yourself. And then once you reach that stage, the next one is learning different hobbies, doing things that you alone love, not that you love to do alone, that no one else in your family loves it. This is what you love, and this is what you're going to do. Do you need to nerd out? Go nerd out. Do you need to go bungee jumping? Go bungee jumping. The point being is, once you start accepting that your needs matter, your bucket will start filling up. Your energy will start being balanced. You're not going to be as in desperation, if you will, just surrounding the object of whoever is giving you love. And from there, the healing begins. I invite you to explore the self-healing and the road to self-acceptance and self-love. And with that, thank you so much for watching. I hope this message serves you. Bye for now.